Anyway, I'm going to start by just showing you position of features, yeah? Now, as you know, I only draw the egg because that is a simple shape of the head, and everything else attaches to it, yeah? But you've actually got 9 positions of the head, so you can make these kind of heads up like that. And because you've got these eggs, you can see, so I've got, if I do 9 eggs like that, they're all the same size, and then we've got different views of people's features, haven't we? So if I put one there as well. So this is the reason I used to have I have a handout that I use in class. If anybody wants one, I can send one to you. Email it. That I use in a class situation, and the 9 positions of the head. So if someone's looking straight at you, and you're on the same level, you break the egg up into quarters. So we always know that the sockets are in that position, and the head is about 5 sockets wide, and you get another socket in between the eyes. Now we only use this just to position the eyes. We don't need the egg after that because it's irrelevant. We're just drawing an egg shape to get the position of the eyes and the nose and the mouth. So you automatically get a face. Because you put the eyes in the middle there, that is the correct position for it. When things change, like if someone is looking at you and then they turn away from you, then this straight line, so we always start with a straight line, see. But when somebody turns to the left, that straight line, if you imagine an eggshell, becomes a curve. So that's how we get that curve, because they're looking in that direction. So the centre line becomes the same, the sockets are the same, and the distance, except for going a bit narrower, but they're looking in a different direction. And the same over here. So you'd have a straight line in the middle first, and then if I ask that person to turn the other way, you get a curved line like that. So this is how it works, you see, this egg positioning. If you don't like doing egg positioning, some people do triangles and squares, so that positions the eyes and stops you messing about, especially with watercolour, because if you're using watercolour, your drawing needs to be correct. So if I tell this person to look up, I've still got the same straight lines, yeah? Well, what happens to the eyes then? They become a curve. So that line's straight, it's still the centre of the face. But that straight line for the eye position becomes a curve. So what you're actually seeing is less of the forehead and more of the bottom of the face. It is like that, okay? And that happens all the way. If I ask the person to look up and then move the head to the right, to the left, on my right, then that line becomes a curve, and that line becomes a curve. So where they meet then is the centre of the face, can you see? Like that. So this is the reason I do it this way. I know some people just start drawing and whatever, but if you want to get your eye positioning right, first off, because it's nothing worse than getting to the end of your picture and then mulling about. Well, this is the way I do it. So if someone's looking down, if I ask this person to look down, sorry, this centre one, so the eyes are still in the middle, but because they're looking down, the centre of the face is a straight line, and that line becomes a curve. So the eye position becomes lower. So you get, that's the reason I use the eye position. The head's about 5 sockets wide. When you put the curve in, that goes through the centre of your socket. So we've got the same thing there, and we ask the person to turn to the left, left, my right. So you get a curve, and then that's a curve. So it gets a bit complicated, but that then positions the eyes, can you see? And then the same with this one. That curves the other way, that curves downwards because they're looking downwards or you're looking down at them. So it doesn't matter if they're looking downwards or you're looking down at them. Everything becomes lower. Okay, you see more of the forehead. But this lady, right to the, something like that, but slightly that. Can you see? So she's actually looking, not looking straight ahead. She's not got her head up. If you actually measure the positioning of her eyes, you know, they are halfway, but she's actually just looking down. So we've got slight curve. So when I start to draw, I mean, you could do that, and you could keep that as a just a reference for you. I mean, after that, it's the nose, the mouth, you know, everything becomes a shape like that. You see? So the shape of the mouth and the shape of the eyes and whatever. And then I'm just going to go on to a bit of colour mixing, because people always tend to say, what colour do you use for faces? Like, naturally you can use any, because it reflects. You can use green, blue, pink, anything you want. And I'll put that over there. If you've not got it, rewind the video and print it off, or take a picture of it on your phone, unless you're watching it on your phone. If you're watching it on your iPad or your laptop, take a picture of it and use it. And naturally, the more people's heads turn, the less you see. When you get to a point where, if they're in profile, which is not a very nice profile, you still got a straight line, still got the eye position, but then the centre line for the features comes that curve. So the nose comes out like that, then you get the chin, and that goes that way. But the eyes are still on that line, you see? Anyway, there you go. Any questions? Ask me later. Yeah, what was I doing? Oh, I'm just going to show you some colour mixing. Because of our colour chart, which people have, I do advise you doing one, just using these colours. We're not going to use yellow today. We're using burnt sienna, we're using alizarin, we're using blue. Might use a bit of green. And I'm going to use some gouache later, just for the smoke coming from her lovely. This is a pipe here, you can just see it going into her mouth, and the smoke's coming out there. And she's holding it. Now if you want to do the hand, that's fine. If not, just hint at the hand. So because we're using burnt sienna, that actually replicates the warmer tones in the face. And if you look at the face, I know I'm using a coloured photograph, I just wanted to show you the colours in the feet, the skin. And we're also using ultramarine blue, see? Alizarin crimson, sorry. Ultramarine blue. Well, that will give you the warm and the cool shades in the face. Yeah? And if you mix the two together, you get a darker, deeper kind of shadow. So if I was painting, yeah, a deeper shadow within that, and keep the highlights. And there's no actual highlights on this. You could put a highlight on the nose, for instance. You can see, just the tip of the nose. And then as it dries, then you start to add some of the creases in the face and whatever. But these are the two main colours I'll be using. Warm, cool. So it's burnt sienna, alizarin crimson. If you haven't got them, you just have to get by doing whatever you do. I am going to use some ultramarine blue. I'll just mix a bit of that, because that's going to be in the background. A bit of viridian green, because I might make some turquoisey colour. There is some kind of grey tones in her hair and light tones. You can see the sienna in the white of her hair, yeah. And the darks, I need to do the darks. I'm not doing a purple top, I'll just leave that. And we can use some gouache and a bit of blue for the smoke later. Okay. No splashes in this. We don't want to give her acne or anything, and we don't want to put salt on to ruin it. The hair, I'm going to put a little bit of wax on when we dry it, just to keep the light strands of her hair. Alright, good. So there you go, that's the colours. Ultramarine, burnt sienna, alizarin, viridian. You could have some cerulean blue later if you wanted, just for the anything else. Just with this smoke here, it's a bit cerulean. So. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. We're going to sketch the head first. We're going to use a pencil first. Plenty of time today. Pencil first. I've got my lamp on. It's a bit dark. Right, and then using a pen later. So if I look at the head, the top of the head's up here, and that's not the hair. That's the top of the forehead, which is about there, top of the head, just under the hair. Yeah, because your hair is always on top of the egg. So we can bring it down a bit and draw an egg shape to about here. Yeah. So I've got this lovely curve for the egg. And like I said before, if you do lots of little lines, you get a feeling for the shape of an egg rather than an exact copy of an egg. Yeah. And go worry about the shape of the face at this stage, because you start painting negative space in the background, and that will end up giving you the shape of the face. Negative space. She's got a slight tilt, but I'm not bothered about it. I'm just keeping her head up that. Alright, the hair is on top of the egg, so it's up here. Straight line right through features. I'm going to rub this out later, this pencil. Once I get the eye position in the centre of your egg, which is what I've just done, okay? Have a go, you might surprise yourself. Keep it level though, sorry. I've got a slight angle, must be drunk. Let's take that off. I've got a slight angle, you want to keep it level, just put it 90 degrees to that line, okay? You don't have to measure it, but anyway. So because she's slightly looking down, and you're seeing more of the underside of her, I'm just going to curve that line a little bit. Now, you might think it's not important, but it actually gives you more depth there and less there, okay? And the position of the sockets, you can actually see them. If you draw from her eyebrow into the eye, you've got a nice kind of circle there. And we've got the same thing here. So sockets are quite big. We've got the same size in the middle there. Again, do the same. And then we've got the same size here. That is the centre of our eyeball. So you make that the centre of the socket. Okay. I know she's looking down, but that's where the eye would be, because she's looking down anyway. Can you see? You put the pupil in there now. She's looking down, she's not looking straight ahead. So this is what I mean by it positions the eyes. Then you look at the distance from here to the side of the egg, which we're going to look at later. Okay, so I draw that in. I'm just going to draw in a shape. Now I know you can't see the iris. I'll put a pupil in, and then I'm going to draw the shape of an eye lid. It's quite low down, it's covering a lot of her eye, yeah? And you're just getting these kind of little slitty shapes, and that automatically gives you the shape of her eye, okay? And then the top of this, and then you're getting this eyebrow and these lines in her face. So here we're going inside. Now if you think that distance too wide, just look now, because inside the eye we've got a nice dark shape, comes in like that, and at the other side we've got a nice dark shape, you see, which is there. Don't have to colour it in. But that is the shape within the eye and the top of the eyeball there, which is giving that dark shape. Okay, and then we're getting the lines here in a forehead and whatever. Don't start to draw the lines yet. I know I've just put them in, but and then this bit comes into the side of the nose here. There we got that shape. Then we look at the nose. If you look at the nose, we've got a nice bridge angle. So I'm looking at a dark shape, and then the tip of the nose is about here. Okay, so it's not that far from the face. You can actually measure it if you want. Eye to nostril, nostril to mouth, yeah? Eye to nostril, nostril to mouth, something like that. So you're getting the right angle. So that is the underside of a nose there. And then you're getting the nostrils, which I can see. And then they're coming out. The distance between the nostrils, it's only on level with the corner of her eye, so not that far. And same over there. So again, that nice shape and a width of her nose. Her eyes kind of knitted up there, and that's where you get in the forehead, which is a flat shape. All right. and then we get the filter. So as you get older, that goes bigger. So we get this nice shape of a mouth. Now, because she's sucking on this side, you've got the shape of the mouth a bit longer, and then we're going to have this pipe just coming out from the, like that, going that way. And then the bottom lip, we can just see the bottom lip here, and we can just see the chin and the creases like there. Okay, and then under the chin here, it's a curve. That disappears. This goes into a little bit of a jawline. Here we've got a straight line which is coming all the way down from just below that eye where the socket is. So we've got a straight line there, just joining a face, and then that's, you've got a curve here actually. You can see where the earlobes are, and that's another way of telling if people are looking down, because your earlobes should be on level with the bottom of your nose, but they're not, they're higher up, so that means she's tilting forward. Right? The angle of the face and the earlobe, which is about here, just in that crease about here. And put that in, to be honest, same on the other side. We've got the same angle here, nice angle for the jaw. The distance between there and the corner of the head. So we've got that angle, you see, like that. It's a straight line, more or less. Then you've got an ear coming out, and you can just see inside of here there. That shadow. Like that. This is coming forward, like I say. There are the creases in the nose. We don't want to draw those in too much, we just put them in. The angle of the cheekbones. You can see where you're getting these lovely lines and the cheekbones going in, cheeks going in, okay? And the angle there. So here now I've got the hair, which it's a bit wayward over this side, so it's all kind of coming down to the shoulder, which is under there somewhere. We can just put a neck in and a shirt collar, something like that. And after that, going over this side, I can just see more of a neck. Yeah, it's going to be quite high up, and then we're going to kind of do all these lovely shapes. Let's do the shape of it. Bring it down a little bit. Look at the distance and the lots and lots of light that's catching a hair as it goes over that ear, and you're getting that angle, right? And that goes off into the background. So to make that lighter, if you look at the shoulder as well, it's on level with the back of her ear, you know? Things like that. Right high up. That shoulder you can't see. So you've got this lovely angle. So this is the pipe. It's the bowl, and then you've got the stem coming down, but it's in smoke. So the beautiful thing about that is we can let it disappear a bit. You've got the pipe, you've got the creases in the neck, and the curve, and then this shape. This is disappearing. I'm just going to do a couple of the fingers. So the light on the top of that, and then the other finger, got a lovely light there as well, and that. Just keep them quite thin, bony, you don't want them to be too thick. And then here we've got another finger, which is going that way. It's a negative shape between them. That goes into the hand, and then we've got the thumb just coming out this side, holding a pipe. And then here we've got the back of the hand and the wrist. It's going off the picture. Okay, so I'm going to sketch it in. As long as you're happy with it, as long as you're happy with the sketch, you probably won't be able to see it. I'm just going to draw the shape of that eye, which is quite a dark, so I'll block it in. And the shape of this. Not too big, are they? No. And the shadows and some of these shapes in her eyebrows and some of these lines near the eye, like that. This, she has got bags, so we leave those in. You know, I usually say with my mate, so if you've got bags, leave them in. Don't draw anything in the nose apart from that shadow that disappears into the background. The corner of a nostril, just make them a bit smaller actually. And then the creases, the side of the face, you can see that nostril, you can see this nostril underneath. The mouth, like I said, it's right over here because she's puffing a pipe, okay, and the mouth's crooked, so it's going that way. We've got these creases, and it's curving a bit. We've got the pipe, you can see it near the mouth and then it disappears. Keep it like that. Same thing here, that shadow goes into this curve at the top of her eye, and then we're going into the eyebrow. What we have got here is that light from the left hand side, here, and then that goes into the side of her forehead. This is the curve, that's a straight line. Same thing over here. Like that. Bit of a pointy face. Yeah, like that. Creases. You put a few lines in, but don't kind of do loads of them. Then we get the shadow on the forehead. Again, we've got that shape. And then that disappears. Here, side of the face, into that ear. You can just see the bottom of the ear. Just going to draw some of the hair as it comes down past here. And then as we get down to the, we've got the shape of the pipe again. It comes out from, and then shoulder. Right? Lovely light on this side. We put some negative spaces in. And then the shape of the hair again. Like that. So all that is going to disappear now because it's white. Angle, button, curve, that's top. I brought the hand up a little bit actually just to get it in, and the back of the fingers, you see, just to get that in. You can put a few creases in the fingers if you want. The negative shape between that finger and the other one, because it's slightly coming towards you, and then it's going this way and down here, and then you get the thumb, kind of bony thumb, hold of the bottom of the pipe, but you can't actually see, so you don't have to do everything. Yes. Anyway, I don't think we'll be sorted by Crimbo. But never know. And this virus is now, not virus, vaccine, yeah, the German one, apparently is 95% now. Alright, so yeah, we want to keep this like a lot of light on this side. You can draw the shape of the light. There's a little bit of light here and a little bit of light down the side of the face, okay? There's nothing on the other side, it's all in shadow. A bit of light in the background. But on the top of the head is waxed. Don't put the wax on before you rub out the pencil. So rub out your pencil just to get rid of all those marks. And you should be left with something similar akin to the photograph. And you could use sketches. I mean, if she was having fun to you and doing this, you don't have to do all that. You can just use a pencil or a pen and do it from life. But just to get your position in, I always think it's a good idea to get things in the right place. Alright, there we go. And that's, I'm going to use wax, like I said. If you're using masking fluid, somebody put on the other day on the essay here, can't get the fluid off my brushes. Probably use the best sable brush and ruined it for life. Use a stick or a brush that you can't, that you won't use anymore. I'll just use a stick, so that's in shadow, so I can just block that in. And you can actually see underneath where the bottom eyelid is just catching the light and the top lip's in shadow here. It goes quite dark here. Corners of the mouth. See? It's got a spot on her head there. So let's put the spot in. Beautiful. Whites. Get your whites. Nice straight edge. Find a clean bit as well. Don't have it too. Don't get the mucky bit. Scratch it with your nail if you have any nails. Just to get that hard edge. And then I'm just going to kind of squiggly bits coming out from her hair, like that, going from the top of the head. I don't need to put any in her face because and then there's a few down here where it's dark as well. Alright, I might just keep that light area at the back of her neck there, which is a nice shape as well. Hook it up, ready to paint. Fabulous. So I'm going to start. Nice soft brush, lots of burnt sienna, clean water. Keep yourself clean colour, lots of water. Right. Because I'm looking at warmer colours, mainly in the centre of her features. So there's anything kind of bony like this, within the eyes, under the forehead, because I'm going to drop some alizarin in this as well. You don't have to leave white bits, because we're going to paint the alizarin to make some of these shapes. Round her eyes, then down here. Keep that lovely light on the side of her face, where the nose is here. If you're in doubt, just leave a lot, leave more white. Just don't be frightened of, so this bit, I'm going to have it slightly lighter. We can go into her hair as well, sorry, keeping away from it, but because you've got sienna in the hair, burnt sienna, you can see where the warmth is, yeah? So you don't have to keep it away from that. And then as you're getting down, I use a smaller brush this time because I want to position things. The cheeks, okay, and then the top of her top lip, like that. I go around the pipe. I'm keeping that white bit on the cheekbone, on the side of the face, and then we can start putting a few creases in. Take the light off, stand back, on the neck as well. The thing is about the neck, it goes a little bit darker because it's in shadow, so just add some alizarin, and then the same alizarin, I'm going to smaller brush, just add it to places that are a little bit darker. I want a bit less water, more pigment. I don't want to be going in with too much water, so where I put the shadowy bits, see, quite a bit of shadows, a bit light on my picture today, don't I? And then I'm just adding some of these shadows that I can see in the picture, in the photo. Yeah. So as I get up here, we've got a bit darker, and then within that crease, or the socket of her eye, and the bottom eyelid, the bags under the eye, like this. See where you can do lines as well if you want to. Keep the cheek warm. This is the bit inside the face, the forehead. And because things dry quite quick from the top down, I'm just going to work from the top down, just by adding a few of these creases. Okay, I've got these squirrely bits because it's drying. And if you've got white bits there, it doesn't really matter because, you know, you're going to be going over them again later. And we can go darker with some of these marks. So this is the kind of creases at the side of a forehead. We've also got a lovely shadowy shape down the face. I'm doing it a different way, you may be aware, than I usually do, because I usually just throw it all over. But this time I'm going to build up these textures, just to give you some idea of how you can do it. Yeah, better letting it dry off. So where you got the nostrils, you've got a nice line just there, you see? Look at the shape, put it in as quickly as possible. It's a combination of burnt sienna and alizarin. So then under the nose, tip of the nose there, slightly darker there actually, you see? I'll keep that light in a bit, and then down the side of the face, small brush, and then from the mouth, this is where we're getting some of those beautiful creases, and we're saying beautiful creases, and then the side of a face coming that way and that way. Like that, just soften it as well, going down the picture. From here, more creases, side of the mouth, slightly underneath, top lips darker, yeah, and bottom lip. And as you get here, you can see a chin, and then more creases here. So. Okay, to the chin. And inside the eye. I'm going to leave that to dry. Bit around the head. And add some colour in the background and in this area. Keep the white of your paper. Okay. In those light areas, stand back, creases. I'm going to mix a bit of, like I said, ultramarine and viridian. And as you get to her hair, you can see, you get these really nice stone marks. Really nice dark areas, so that over this side, we can add some alizarin to that as well. Big brush again. Well, lots of darks. Going into her hair, like that. I know I haven't done. Keep it nice and light. Yeah. And then down here, we're going into the background of where the light hair is. Clean your brush. If any noises, it's my lad on his game. It's a bit of figging work. And a bit more kind of alizarin tones in the side of the face and whatever. Okay. Can use a bit of salt in the background, you know, just give some texture. A bit darker with our green, and red, and blue. Sorry, got that in. Some kind of shapes here. Oops. Can't see for myself. I'm in my own light, and here, just letting that blend a bit. Do its own thing. Because we need the contrast, don't we? From the hair in the background. If you want to do these, it's like bars around this area. You can't do. Well, it's damp. Use some grass as well. And then we're going to slip the light on the shoulder. You can spare the sides, let it blend a bit, soften edges, or the hair's kind of blue and light, and then dark on this side, green, a bit of red. Okay, if you look, you get these lovely kind of shapes in between the crease, the folds, where the hair comes out from the side of the head, really. Dry brush, and that's going off the picture. So. Scratch as well. Scratch your hair out. You've bad hair there. Bit of sienna. Inside the head. Got a kind of purple tone here. It's coming from where the eye is, or the ear. Right. Same in there. Bottom of the earlobe. Stand by. She's there somewhere. Don't worry about it. Just scratch out some of her hair. I'll go darker later. I might just start doing. Got some light on her hand as well, so I just keep the hand as just a reference in it, really. Nothing too fussy. Let the paint do the work. Why not? I've got loads of shiny blooming light on the picture because it's wet through, actually. Right, looking at her eyes now. I think I'll just do some of the a jumper. It's a nice purple colour. That's lovely purple tone. Quite thick. Quite thick, and then we get this kind of reflection. Add water just to make it lighter. And then add some softness to that area. I'm just going to look underneath that neck because it's nice and dark there. Forget it, this shape, the button, and this dirt bit. I know it's in shadow and it's got a nice warm bit there, alizarin bit. So. Again, it's got a lovely purplish tone. Yeah. Bigger brush. Slap it on. Slap it on. And that goes down to the top of the finger. This is all one. Bit of dry brush. Top of the finger. Can have a bit of splattering. Pick out that hand a bit. So we've got the shape in between the fingers. Side of the neck. Top of the shoulder. And then the thumb. Okay, and I'm going to paint that because we're going over it later with a bit of goulash. One in our pipe, bit, and the smoke, and the side of the neck. And underneath, so it's darker. And under the chin. Just don't let that leave that. Go back to the face. I'm going to soak up the blobs. See what happens. Soften edges. Take the black bits out. Because this finger's quite warm, it's like it's going forward. And you've got a nice side like that. That's right, on a knuckle. Okay, put a bit of salt on just to dry it up a bit. So that's the lady in question. We need to go darker now. So what I'm doing is ultramarine and alizarin. Quite a dark tone there. And then we're looking at some of these shapes in the forehead. Okay? And shadowy bits. I'm coming down again from the eye. Taking the kind of creases across the forehead. And the sides of her head. Soften it. So we see light areas hitting the side of the face. That's where you usually get the darker bits. Inside the eyes. Combination of the two, so you get a bit of sienna. Inside the eye. Don't forget to lift off as well. Lift off and go over that eye. And then we've got this nice shadow under the eye. Lift off. Yeah? Coming down the nose. Across the nose. Getting in the forehead here, you got quite a bit going on. I'm fucking sorry. Just looking. For the creases. Side of the nose, and this disappears, and we get some alizarin again here, some bark, creases near her eye, under the eyelid. Corners of her eye, soften that bit. Okay. And then here, side of the face. That's a nice shape. Might take a little while, this actually. Corners of her eye. The problem with this is there's only one light source and it's from right on the corner, so we need to just blend some of these into warmer colour. There, see? And then the side of the face here. That's a bit darker actually. So we get the shadows. The alizarin. Corner of the mouth, top lip, underneath the nostrils. What time is it? 2 o'clock. Ear. This is all kind of smoky, so I don't have to do much there. Glaze it a bit, knock it back a bit. So that's the warm colour, alright? You've actually got it in the pipe as well, so we can stick that in. can soften these edges a little bit. I need to dry it, so I'm going to use my hair dryer. Just to get some darks in. So corners of my mouth, quite dark. Nostril, both of them. And then this bit where it goes up. Middle lip. The eyes. Nothing there. Dark shape. Dark shape there. And like that. Inside of here. Corners of her face. Yeah. Again, a shadow. Side of her face. Stand back. There's a nice dirt there, but this bit's a bit lighter, so just try and lift off for the neck area. It's not too bad. Bit of red. So I'm going slightly darker now, especially underneath. Side of the neck. And just here, because it's in shadow. Get the light on that tendon in the neck. Alright. And then we'll soften that part of the nose. So this is just alizarin. And we'll go into side of the face. Okay. And then into the mouth. Am I whispering? I don't know. Quite a bit of a hair's gone there, but we could paint over that. Okay, and then I'm just going to have a look at some of the darker areas using alizarin, green and blue. So I can go back into these because although we thought they were dark enough before, they're nowhere near. So this kind of background needs to be stronger. Dry brush. You just look at the top of the finger now, make sure I get that shape. That's going into pipe. This is a shape here. I don't know why, I think it's the back of her top. And then we've got this lovely angle of the shoulder. Clean brush, clean water, and sienna. Again, knocking back. Especially the cheeks. And then the creases around the mouth. Just like that, and then they disappear. And below her nose, just goes a bit lighter than that. Just under the nose, slightly darker. sounds of me. Just got a spot on a forehead. A corner of her face. Okay, stand back. It's quite dark here. Soften it. I'm still using blue and alizarin. But some of the darker bits, so it's still shadows in the sockets and soften them. If we want that to dry, we move on and we can do a bit of glazing. So you've always got quite a bit of glazing to do. Okay. Which is like the shapes here between her eyes. Corner. Pull out this brush. Is that my brush? Soften it. Okay. Just need to bring out some more tonal values. Like I said, a lot of these I kind of just throw paint at them, but I thought we'll just try a different way with doing all these creases, because I want to get these lovely dark creases in the forehead. All that knowledge. Side of the head. And build it up from there. What do you think? Just going to make the foam hand a bit lighter. And I use some alizarin. I'll let the head dry a bit. Side here, around the shape of the hand. Puts it all there. And then it goes a bit darker over this side. Okay. What time is it? Bring out the pipe a little bit, or the shape around the finger. And then it goes a little bit further than that, isn't it? Probably quite run all the way down now. And back of the hand. Out dry. Hair dryer on the face. Thank you. Excuse me. So I can bring out some of that side of the head that I kind of lost with the hair. It's quite dark, using alizarin, green, and a bit of blue, so we get these really strong darks here, see? And the white should stand out there. If you don't want to paint it, just put it like blending and so on. As long as it's wet, you're okay. Bit of red, green, seldom seen. That goes down to the shoulder, actually. So. Okay, and then the other side. Still needs a bit of doing to the face, that's it. You paint the negative space between a hair. Also got some lovely reddy green up there as well. Again, strong colour. Because that brings out the shape of the hair. Right off. Bit of goulash, where have I put it? What mix this with some cerulean blue is to make a, I think it's cerulean blue, let's have a check. It might just be ultramarine. Bit of ultramarine, and we can scumble this in. Add some white to it. She's smoking. Looks like it's coming out of here. So all that I've just painted, I've just covered up. Throw a bit of salt on. Taste to it. And then the only thing I need to do is some of the stronger tones now. And I know I've been saying this all along, but there's just certain areas that just need to be a little bit darker. Like the top of the head. Creases. Inside that socket. Inside the eye. Corner. Just little bits of change in tone. And don't forget to blend them. Corner of the eye, start to see these little changes. Quite dark. Stand back. Soften. The hardest thing with watercolour is keeping it transparent. keeping it that lovely transparency. They've all gone now, haven't they? Anybody left? Lift off. I'm going to stop, and then see what it looks like. Also, people with creases, there's a lot more work. Yeah, and you can just keep going and going, can't you? So I'm going to stop, just add a bit more white or light. And dark. I'm going to stop because I need a drink. It wants darker down here. Let it disappear a bit. Leave it for now. Probably do a bit more to it actually. And take the tape off. I'm getting a bit all watercoloured out now, so I'm going to be painting in the style of on Friday. I've got something in mind. That's going to be oil, so that'll be good for a change. It looks old anyway. Okay, doke. Thanks for watching, and have a go. I might do a little bit more, but not much, don't think. Yeah, bring the hand out. Anyway, talking to myself there. Okay, have a good day. I'll see you Friday. Bye for now.